I mean, I told you not to go in that house.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 incredible movies by first-time directors.
Well, you're contradicting yourself, Donnie. If we were able to see our destinies manifest themselves visually, then we would be given a choice to betray our chosen destinies.
For this list, we're looking at those film directors who really got off to a flying start. Only features will be taken into account, so it doesn't matter if a filmmaker had previously directed shorts, student films, or worked in TV. However, we'll only be considering films that are truly the director's debut, so even though Greta Gerwig's Lady Bird is great, she had previously co-directed Nights and Weekends. Please note, a spoiler alert is now in effect. Which director debuted with their best film? Let us know in the comments. Number 20. Being John Malkovich, Spike Jonze. In 1999, the movie world was introduced to the peculiar combo of Spike Jonze and Charlie Kaufman, who made their cinematic debut with Being John Malkovich.
We can put you inside someone else's body for 15 minutes.
Can I be anybody that I want to be?
Well, Actually,
you can be John Malkovich.
A borderline nightmarish trip into a world filled with quirky characters who are utterly unaware of the strangeness that surrounds them. Being John Malkovich is an unforgettable experience that is simultaneously hilarious and deeply unsettling. Jones's direction is assured, but also unintrusive, presenting the bizarreness of this universe and premise in an almost matter-of-fact manner that greatly enhances the story's impact.
That portal is mine, and it must be sealed forever for the love of God.
Jonze might not regularly direct a feature film, but when he does, he tends to hit a home run. Number 19, 8th Grade, Bo Burnham. With Bo Burnham having a background in stand-up comedy, one might have assumed his debut film would lean into humor, but 8th Grade is far from a laugh riot. A realistic look at anxiety, 8th Grade focuses on a middle school girl, Kayla, as she deals with depression, mental illness, and loneliness.
You just need to put yourself out there and face your fears and, let people know the real you. And it doesn't matter if you're scared.
Written and directed by Burnham, 8th Grade comes packed with sobering moments of sheer devastation, particularly an intense truth or dare sequence set in the back of a car.
I'm not, super comfortable with that.
The film might be hard to watch for some people, but it is incredibly effective. Number 18, District 9, Neill Blomkamo. A highly ambitious film, Neill Blomkamo's feature debut is technically brilliant, thematically dense, and just very entertaining. Set in Johannesburg, South Africa, the movie follows the treatment of aliens that have been detained at a camp called District 9, with the premise being an allegory for events that transpired during the apartheid era.
We require your scroll on this eviction notification.
Yes, it's eviction notice. Put your scroll on the bottom there. See, there's your name at the top. Christopher Johnson. You're going to put your name at the bottom.
Initially presented through found footage and newsreels before transitioning into a more traditional direction, District 9 succeeds as a crowd-pleasing action film and a socially conscious study of racism.
They're spending so much money to keep them here when they could be spending it on other things, but at least they're keeping them separate from us.
District 9 showcased Blomkamo's unique and powerful voice and instantly established the director as someone to keep track of. Number 17, Ratcatcher, Lynn Ramsey. Set in Glasgow during the early 70s, Ratcatcher follows a troubled boy, James, as his family waits to be moved to a new housing complex. With a garbage strike serving as a backdrop, Lynn Ramsey's Ratcatcher presents a gritty and dirty world that feels almost documentary-like in places. The grayish aesthetic of the movie's visuals complements its generally grim tone, but Ramsey breaks up the story's grief with moments of levity and surrealism. Featuring minimalist acting and confident direction, Ratcatcher is a character piece driven by realism, substance, and emotion. Number 16, Donnie Darko, Richard Kelly. Teenage angst, thy name is Donnie Darko. And just to be clear, that is a compliment. Richard Kelly's debut film features time travel, a huge bunny suit, and a whole lot of philosophical musings.
Well, you're contradicting yourself, Donnie. If we were able to see our destinies manifest themselves visually, then we would be given a choice to betray our chosen destinies.
Genuinely original films are not easy to come by, but Donnie Darko stands out as a singular entity born out of a unique vision. While complicated, the story still manages to be followable, primarily because the characters are quite relatable. Then, there is the fantastic cinematography and direction, two elements perfectly demonstrated in the brilliant head-over-heels scene. Number 15, A New Leaf, Elaine May. Already an established voice in the comedy scene by 1971, Elaine May crafted something close to perfection with her debut film, even though a lot of scenes were left on the cutting room floor. A New Leaf follows a contemptible New Yorker who learns that family riches do not last forever, prompting Henry to try and marry into money.
What could you possibly do in 6 weeks that would enable you to repay me?
Get married.
Get what?
Get married.
Get married?
Yes, get married.
To whom?
Well, I would find a suitable woman.
As the clumsy and oblivious Henrietta, May's character walks a fine line between pathetic and endearing, while delivering plenty of laughs along the way.
You fired Mrs. Traggart?
Yes, I fired Mrs. Traggart.
You fired John, too?
Especially John.
And they agreed?
We didn't vote on it, Henrietta. I simply told them they were fired.
A New Leaf is a comedic tour de force. Number 14, Badlands, Terrence Malick. A beautiful and violent masterpiece, Badlands introduced the world to the immeasurable talent of Terrence Malick. While nowhere near as abstract as the director's later films, Badlands does showcase Malick's deft touch for music, visual storytelling, and distinctive editing.
We're on the run. And, I'd like to hang out here for a while, a couple hours maybe. How'd that be?
Often compared to Bonnie and Clyde, Badlands follows the captivating pair of Kit and Holly as they become America's most wanted criminals. Touching upon themes of death and pointlessness, Kit and Holly are purposefully shallow characters who live without much reason and seek meaning in places and acts that have none to offer.
You like people?
They're okay.
Then why'd you do it?
I don't know. I always wanted to be a criminal, I guess.
Number 13, The Evil Dead, Sam Raimi. A low-budget horror film that would go on to launch the career of its director and main actor, The Evil Dead is a bona fide classic.
Why have you disturbed our sleep? Awakened us from our ancient slumber. You will die! Like the others before you.
While the series would get progressively sillier in the best possible way, the original Evil Dead is more interested in inspiring screams than laughter. Through Raimi's kinetic direction, the film moves at a blistering and ceaseless pace, reflecting the frantic states of the teenagers as they find themselves reading the wrong book.
The book is bound in human flesh and inked in human blood. It deals with demons, demon resurrection, and those forces which roam the forest and dark bowers of man's domain.
The Evil Dead has aged beautifully, cementing itself as a landmark release in gory horror. Number 12, 12 Angry Men, Sidney Lumet. The debut film in what would be a long and storied directorial career, 12 Angry Men is rightfully hailed as a classic and one of Sidney Lumet's greatest films.
Aren't you asking us to accept a pretty incredible coincidence?
I'm just saying a coincidence is possible.
And I say it's not possible.
Set primarily in a deliberation room of a courthouse, this bottle movie explores the psyches, influences, and experiences of 12 jury members assigned to determine whether an 18-year-old is guilty of murdering his father.
Ever since you walked into this room, you've been acting like a self-appointed public avenger. You want to see this boy die because you personally want it, not because of the facts. You're a sadist.
Get him out!
Thrilling from beginning to end, 12 Angry Men does not waste a single moment and features a roster of characters who come across as fully realized individuals. Number 11, She's Gotta Have It, Spike Lee. Groundbreaking at the time of its release, Spike Lee's debut was a great indicator of things to come. Filmed on a shoestring budget, She's Gotta Have It explores the sexual freedom of Nola, an up-and-coming artist living in Brooklyn.
It's about control. My body, my mind. Who is gonna own it, them or me? I am not a one-man woman.
Racial themes are naturally present throughout the film, and Lee largely opts to just present a black community without the stereotypes that often defined films up until that point. Although somewhat messy at times, She's Gotta Have It is the byproduct of a visionary who has clear social concepts he wants to focus on.
It's sisters like her who are corrupting our men.
The few good ones left.
Number 10, Sex, Lies, and Videotape, Steven Soderbergh. This film's provocative title might paint a picture of a scandalous erotic thriller, but Steven Soderbergh's feature is actually a subtle character study.
And you just want to ask me questions?
I just want to ask you questions.
That's all?
That's all.
Isn't this how you get off or something? Taping women talking about their sexual experiences?
Yes.
Centering around 4 people with complicated relationships with sexuality, Sex, Lies, and Videotape sees Soderbergh touch upon sophisticated themes while exploring characters who could be off-putting if handled poorly. The cast and the direction of the actors are both very strong, with James Spader being especially brilliant.
I don't have the slightest idea who I am, and I'm supposed to be able to explain it to you. And why? Tell me why. Why do I have to explain myself to you?
Also written by Soderbergh, Sex, Lies, and Videotape is not only an exhibition of the director's talent behind the camera, but also his ability in front of a typewriter. Number 9, Perfect Blue, Satoshi Kon. Following more than a decade in the manga scene, TV animation, and feature film production as an animator and writer, Satoshi Kon made his directorial film debut with the haunting Perfect Blue.
She can do both. She can sing and act.
Her schedule with the other two has already created a difficult problem.
Listen, she didn't go to all those singing lessons just so she could become an actress.
The producer of the show doesn't care. He thinks Mima's a wonderful actress.
A mind-bending look into the world of idols, Perfect Blue sees Mima leaving a popular group to pursue a career in acting, a decision not everyone agrees with. Obsession, mental frailty, and a brittle sense of self are just a few of the concepts explored in Kon's impressive debut. A challenging but rewarding watch, Perfect Blue proved to be just the first of many masterpieces in Kon's tragically short career.
I told you. Can't you tell? I'm the real Mima.
Number 8, The Virgin Suicides, Sofia Coppola. As the daughter of a rather acclaimed director, Sofia Coppola had some mighty big shoes to fill. With her directorial debut, Coppola instantly set herself apart from her father. Moving at a slow pace and boasting an unconventional story structure, the drama presents an outsider's perspective into the sad and aloof lives of 5 sisters.
And so we started to learn about their lives, coming to hold collective memories of times we hadn't experienced. We felt the imprisonment of being a girl.
Coppola's direction imbues a dreamlike atmosphere into the film, almost like these events are taking place detached from time. Many of the technical and thematic ideas explored in her first big-screen directing venture would continue to be present in Coppola's subsequent films, such as Lost in Translation. Number 7, Get Out, Jordan Peele. In a surprising move, renowned comedian Jordan Peele decided to turn to horror for his directorial debut.
Now, sink into the floor. Wait. Sink.
Demonstrating a mastery of the genre, Peele's Get Out is intense, clever, and frequently scary. Peppered in with comedic flashes and a genuinely likable lead, Get Out keeps audiences guessing, as Chris's weekend with his girlfriend's family gets progressively weirder. Dealing with themes of racism, Get Out manages to be thought-provoking and consistently entertaining.
I mean, I told you not to go in that house.
Peele's debut shows plenty of restraint in its execution, allowing a mystery-laden opening hour to blossom into a heart-pounding final act. Number 6, The Maltese Falcon, John Huston. A timeless detective film that set the standard for a decade of noir, John Huston's directorial debut sits comfortably among the greatest movies of all time.
What's the bird made of?
Porcelain or black stone, I don't know. I only saw it once for a few minutes. Floyd showed it to me when we first got hold of it.
You are a liar.
A lot can and has been said about Humphrey Bogart's Sam Spade and Mary Astor's Femme Fatale, but they are just two pieces of what is an all-around stunning film. Although not light on plot, The Maltese Falcon revels in its characters, and never once even attempts to dilute Spade's hardness or any of the complex supporting characters.
Now let's talk about the blackbird.
Let's. Mr. Spade, have you any conception of how much money can be got for that blackbird?
Huston's direction was innovative for the time, and used style to enhance the story rather than overshadow it. Number 5, Boyz in the Hood, John Singleton. A coming-of-age story set in Los Angeles, John Singleton's drama earned a couple of Oscar nominations, and its significance has not diminished with time. Boyz in the Hood chronicles Trey's growth towards adulthood, a feat that's far from guaranteed in a world populated by gang warfare, instability, and hate-filled cops.
What a punk! What a fool! Mark.
A smart and grounded look at South Central life, Boyz in the Hood backs its social commentary with three-dimensional and likable characters, elevating the film beyond just a cautionary tale. Boyz in the Hood is not just one of the defining movies of the early 90s, but also one of the best of all time.
If you want to talk about guns, why is it that there's a gun shop on almost every corner in this community?
Why?
Tell you why. For the same reason that there's a liquor store on almost every corner in the black community. Why? They want us to kill ourselves.
Number 4, The Night of the Hunter, Charles Laughton. Charles Laughton enjoyed a long and celebrated career in front of the camera and on stage, but the actor only got to direct a single film. It just so happens that The Night of the Hunter is a pretty special movie.
I tried to save her.
I know you did, Mr. Powell. Oh, I know how hard you tried.
But the devil wins sometimes.
Seeking riches and maybe a murder or two, Reverend Harry Powell is a monster who sets his sights on a widow, her 2 kids, and some money they're meant to be hiding. Beautifully and creatively shot, The Night of the Hunter defies classification. A dark fairy tale that has moments of pure terror and genuine hilarity.
Oh, what a day this is. And there's little John.
What's wrong, John?
Come to me, boy.
What's wrong, John?
Didn't you hear me, boy?
John, when your dad says come, you should mind him.
He ain't my dad.
Number 3, Reservoir Dogs, Quentin Tarantino. With his first 2 feature films, Quentin Tarantino shaped the trajectory of cinema for the foreseeable future, inspiring many other filmmakers to emulate his style. Although slightly overshadowed by Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs is nevertheless a milestone release in film history, and in hindsight, demonstrates that Tarantino's style was fully formed right from the get-go.
If I know what kind of guy you were, I never would have agreed to work with you.
Are you gonna bark all day, little doggy? Or are you gonna bite?
Unapologetic bursts of gruesome violence effortlessly exist alongside disconcerting flashes of realism and long stretches of rich dialogue laced with pitch-black humor. Engrossing conversations about irrelevant topics, references to movies, and a kick-ass soundtrack, Reservoir Dogs sets up all the elements of a quintessential Tarantino flick.
It's been quite a long time. A lot of jobs. There's no need for this, man. Let's just put our guns down.
Number 2, Eraserhead, David Lynch. A nightmare brought to life on screen, David Lynch's Eraserhead will make you question your sanity. A surreal odyssey born out of the director's personal fear about being a father, Eraserhead presents unfiltered anxiety in every one of its soul-crushing, hair-raising, and distressing scenes. While the film does have something resembling a story with characters and everything, Eraserhead is very much a mood piece, one that seems to have no interest in being conventionally entertaining. From the lighting to the sound design, everything in Eraserhead comes together to craft an unexplainable experience. Before we unveil our #1 pick, here are some honorable mentions. The Watermelon Woman, Cheryl Dunye, because it's culturally significant and also just really clever.
So who's the cutie? Some customer. She's got a nice bone structure if you're into white girls. Do you think she is or isn't in the family? Tamara, why are you always constantly clacking women? We're lesbians, remember, Cheryl?
Night of the Living Dead, George A. Romero, because it shaped zombie films for practically ever.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Stop it! You're ignorant.
They're coming for you, Barbara.
Red Road, Andrea Arnold, because a thriller this raw is a rare thing.
Have we met?
I saw you in the cafe.
Fine. The cafe, I remember. Come here.
Chocolat, Claire Denis, because this film is an incredibly intelligent exploration of racism.
Les cheveux,
Lion,
la tête,
Molopo,
le front,
Bombo,
bombo, les yeux,
Miso.
miso.
Bottle Rocket, Wes Anderson, because this delightfully quirky film launched an amazing career.
Anthony, just keep the gun on the table. I can't focus unless the gun is on the table. You just paid for it. Shut up, man. Shut up. I'm warning you now. Be quiet, please.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. #1, Citizen Kane, Orson Welles. Frequently cited as one of the best movies ever made, Citizen Kane's legacy is beyond question. A well-established director in theater, Welles was hardly an unknown property when he directed his first feature production. But Citizen Kane pushed the film industry forward in multiple areas. Along with an experimental non-linear structure and an innovative score, Citizen Kane's cinematography was also groundbreaking and showcased many techniques like deep focus that would become staples of cinema.
Bernstein, these men who were with the Chronicle, weren't they just as devoted to the Chronicle policies?
Each frame of Citizen Kane has been studied and dissected to death, and each discussion is warranted. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.